great style to do on your hair at home, but be patient. Practice goes a long way, and also do try to do this on day-old hair. It does work really well when the hair is a little dirty. So if you have freshly washed hair, you can use a little bit of dry shampoo on the hair, and that will really help with the texture. But what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to create my sections, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to work with the parting here, which is a side parting, great for a vintage look, and I'm going to use the back of the ear as a way of measuring where my section is going to be. So all I'm doing, little rat tail comb, and making sure I've got a decent section of hair. If you can see that there, it's a good section of hair to have. So I'm going to pop that to the side. And do have like clips and things lying around that you can just pick up nice and easily, and then you can just kind of section off the hair nice and quickly. So here I'm just using my rat tail comb, and the end of the comb is great for this, to just kind of check those sections. And if you're doing this at home on yourself as well, you can use that little comb to just make sure those sections are nice and neat, and that you've got a really nice kind of neat section created there. Once you've sectioned off the hair, this is a great time to actually work on the back of the hair. So maybe you're going for curls or just something to sort of balance out the style. It's really lovely to have sort of big rolls here and then something to balance out here. So if I was doing this on my own hair, I would have had my rollers heating for a little bit, and I'd now probably put in some either heated rollers or hot sticks. It saves you a little bit of fiddling around at the back of the head with a tong. But for now, I'm actually going to use tongs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to create several rows of curls, and I'm going to let the curls set. So this is where you would have prepared the hair before, maybe with a curl lasting spray. What you'll do is with your rat tail comb again, you're going to take a section of hair. And obviously if you're doing this on the back of your own head, it's not going to be as neat, but you know, it's worth trying, and it can take a little bit of time to get. You can always draft in a helpful friend at this stage. So I'm going to split the hair again. So that's one row into 3 parts. I'm going to grab my heated hair tong that's been on for a couple of minutes. Now this hair tong is a small barrel, I don't know if you can see that there. It's a nice little small barrel hair tong. Really nice and easy to use. It's got a good little grip, and I'm just going to pop it on the hair, wrap the end around, and then roll it up. And I'm just going to hold that for a couple of seconds.
To another dimension for a ringside seat with a new renaissance. All the roads had no west sides and no red lands, but were better restaurants. The views about them on the other side, but it's about time we knelt that mess your mom.
Okay, so once the hair is set, you're going to actually need those curls to cool down, and what you mustn't do is drop the curls out before they're completely cold and brush them through. So we're just going to give this a little bit of time to cool down now. I've popped a little bit of hairspray on, and I'm now going to work on the front. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with the smaller section, and I'm going to again work with the rat tail comb. If you have a back combing brush, anything like this, you are very welcome to use that. These are great tools, and they can come in really handy at this point. I just love my rat tail comb. What I'm also going to add in at this point is I'm going to add in a little bit of dry shampoo. So just at the roots. And I've sprayed that from quite a distance as well, just so I don't get too much product on there. And now I'm going to split this section, and I'm going to do some quite gentle back combing. And what you want with your back combing is you want the hair to have good hold. You really do need structure for this style, so do the same again. And at this point I'll take some pomade as well. You only need a really little bit of pomade, you know, just a little covering, and run it through the front. Keeps all the flyaways from ruining the front of your lovely do. You can also take a nice soft brush and brush that through as well. Now the rolling. I've got my pins ready to go, and I'm going to roll this way. So you want to make sure that this side is nice and smooth here. Now you can roll this way, but you will tend to get a slightly lower victory roll. So obviously it sort of depends the style you're going for. I tend to roll sort of up and out at a bit of an angle. Now 2 fingers, hair goes round, pinch the roll and wind it down nice and tightly. And that's what we're aiming for, that sort of nice circular roll. Now I'm going to grab my pin, and I'm just using a basic little hair clip here, little hair Kirby grip, and I'm going to sort of sew that pin through the victory roll. And there you've got a nice sort of shape to the victory roll. Now at this point I'll probably add a little bit of hairspray. Just check the sides are nice and neat. And I'm going to now set the victory roll back a little bit, sorry I just moved around there, by just pulling out the back combing a little bit and setting the victory roll down. And I will pin that shut and closed once I've dropped the curls out and brushed that all through. I'm going to do the same thing with this part of the hair. Obviously this is a bigger section, so it's going to take a little bit more work. I'm just going to comb it through. Make sure there's no tangles in the hair at this point. You really want it kind of nice and slick. And then, sorry, I'll move you a little bit that way. Thank you. And again, I'm going to split. And obviously, because this is a bigger section, the split's really important. So split that section. And with your comb, you can just tease that front till it holds nicely. You sort of like, I don't know, sideshow bob effect where the hair sort of starts to do a bit of a Mohican there. I'm going to take my dry shampoo again, and at the back I'm just going to have a little spritz going on there. Again, it really helps with the texture of the hair. It helps the hair to hold, and it means that you can be a little less vigorous on your back combing for those of you that aren't keen on back combing. So again, comb in, and just enough back combing there for hold. There's no need to go wild, but it does sort of help to have a good level of kind of solid back combing in there. So what I'm going to do now, again with a little bit of pomade on my hands, and I just use a tiny drop, you know, literally a drop, and I'm smoothing the front. So I'm doing this with my hands. Again, you can use your soft bristle brush, you can get in there and you can really smooth it, and do smooth this side here. What you don't want is kind of bits sticking out here. You do want to really carefully smooth that side, and that's looking really nice there. So what I'm then going to do, I'm going to roll again. If you notice any bits that need a little bit more work, just take your time, make sure it's all looking good. You don't want to notice after you rolled, that's very frustrating. So, 2 fingers round, pinch the hair, and roll forward and down. And there we go, we've got our second victory roll looking really lovely then. You can really see that on the lovely blonde. So I'm going to open my pins. And at the moment what I'm doing is I'm just sort of holding it in place and get my pin open. I'm just going to sew that pin through. Now you're going to want to use a couple of pins per victory roll. Just kind of hold them in place. And I tend to go back into the victory roll and rework that roll just a little bit, because you tend to flatten it when you pin it. So just do open up that roll again, make sure that pin can't be seen, you know, hide your pins as best you can. Get your hairspray. And again, it's about getting that side nice and smooth. You want a good finish to your victory roll. They're such a wonderfully dramatic look, so do kind of work on that finishing and make sure they look really nice and neat. Now I'm going to do the same again, just pull out a bit of the hair so it sits nicely back. So those are your victory rolls. Now to finish this off, it is really nice to have your curls, so I'm going to just show you how to take these out. Now at this point you take out your rollers or your hot sticks just in the same way as I'm taking out these, and I've been using pin curl clips. I find these are really useful. They're far less fiddly than using a Kirby grip. They're nice and easy to take out as well, so it's a little less kind of fuss. So here we go, just take them out nice and quickly. And the hair is completely cool, there's no heat left in that. So I'm really happy that these curls are hopefully going to hold, well, you can see there that they're holding nicely. So there we go. At this point, I'll get a little bit more pomade. I do like my pomade. And I'll break the curls up with my fingers. So I'm not pulling anything too wildly apart, but I'm just sort of breaking them through, checking the curl there, and at the same time I'm using that pomade to stop any flyaways and anything looking too roughed up. So I'm really happy with how the curls are holding, so I'm going to move to my brush. I'm going to have a little brush through, see how that's looking. And I like to brush things around my hand to keep that curl there. So you can do this by bringing your hair to the side if you're doing this on yourself, but it is really nice just to be able to get that through. And what I'm going for here is I'm just moulding the hair. Do is I will go and I will pin the backs of the victory rolls in. Now that there's no sort of curls or other pins in the way. There we go. And that will keep everything in place. A little bit more hairspray just to make sure it's sort of staying. And there we have it. You have your victory rolls with your lovely kind of H-boy style back.
Wishing on a star on Venus when a space dog came and said, "You my name." And not me, dog, I explained that all of surf boys look the same. He was looking for a piece of vengeance for the test flight death of the sister Laker. They don't care about space programs, progress or perestroika. Do you remember the future, baby?